But academics need the lead complex. So you get suspended for calling was Tegan and Tegan out her name, Chrissy Teigen, and I guess that's John Legend's wife or whatever. You can't have pics. Everything academics did, and then the whole thing was, mind you, nobody would even care. At academics' peak, they grabbed him and created a show which created a platform, a first take esque platform. So you owe act that because for one, a lot of people was looking at Complex sideways for years. Remember Wale going off on them and artists, it was a real negative perspective on how Complex was carrying the culture, and you grab act at its peak and it would have been taxed home, but tax ended up going to jail, so it ended up being Joe Button. But the big formulation as far as the youth having the youth attention is was getting academics, and it gave some validity as far as the new generation and some eyes as far as the new generation because people weren't respecting these lists. It was too political. It was missing guys or grabbing guys a year later. And people who weren't freshmen. But Act came and brought that back, and he did so by doing and talking exactly how he's talking in his situations with Gibbs and Meek. I like both of those guys' music, especially Freddie Gibbs. And he did so by talking how he did against Chrissy Teigen. Now I could see if nothing was said to him and he just went off snapping and snapping randomly on her for no reason. But we have to, are we moving into a world where someone could just hit you? Like, the messages be too mixed for me. One minute it's women are just as equal as men and they can do everything a man can do and they're just as strong as a man. And so when they say that to me, I say, okay, let's eliminate gender lines in sports. Because we don't need that. We are equal in every type of way. Like you say, they just as strong, like you say. So why even disrespect them like that? Somebody who's just as capable and having gender lines in sports. Why disrespect a woman like that? Um, and there's a lot of women who do want to compete. They feel like that they get like Carissa Shields. She wants to fight the guy who Canelo beat when he moved up to 168. She said she Rocky Fielding. She said she'll whoop him. So we get this, and then you'll get a lot of men who buy into like, all right, they feel like they're just strong. Let them compete. Let them do what they want to. Let them be free. Don't keep them in a box just because they're a woman. But then when he goes out and disrespect or responds or defends his shots taken at him, then it's, oh no, you went too far. That's a woman. Well, if you were just talking to these men like that and there's no consequences, and the big push of feminism is women can do any job just as they're just as strong, just as fast, just as smart, just as everything, then either we just need to be, you got to be straight down the line. If you're not tolerating any disrespectful comments, he has to get in trouble for any disrespectful comments that he makes towards a man or a woman. That's cool. That's consistent. But we can't pick and choose. And then it's like so he can disrespect black women like SZA and this, and that. And then you disrespect a non-black woman, and it's like, oh, we have to. So it's just so many mixed messages. But then you turn around and say that you care about black life. For me, like I said, I understand that we're in a very political world, and consistency won't be kept. Punishment will be handed down based on agendas. And a lot of stuff people say they don't mean. And you can clearly see it because there's no consistency. If you are not for disrespect and are not for crossing lines, you'll do it regardless of what sex the person is, especially when you pushing a message that regardless of gender, everybody is equal on all levels. So that's the main feminist push and talking point that we've been hearing for years. If so, to discipline academics or anyone else for carrying it is counterproductive to a message that we're all equal in all ways, because in the same breath there was nothing done about him going at Gibbs and even going at Gibbs kids and all that, or going at the black women. So are we all equal or are we not? Is it about the disrespect or is it not? Or is it more of a privilege thing and he spoke against the wrong person? I don't know. But if I'm I start working on, you look at the Troy Avs, look at how everybody else who was branching out. Joe went and did his own thing. Max should have been had his own thing, because after the Chicago thing started falling and the more and more he got into complex, he kind of start letting his brand fall, and the Say Cheeses rolls and the Diamonds Live and the relatable eyeballs. A lot of these other brands began to rise, and they became more independent. He may have got the bag, but he became more codependent, and now we're seeing the issue with the codependence. You can be forced to come out and apologize for something that you're not truly sorry for. I mean, we're in a point that uh, 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 this is what you have to accept now. A woman could be a boxer. She could MMA fighter, whoop you. Like, you might not be had no weight or nothing, and you can't really fight. She could be able to whoop you. She punch you in your face, knock you out. She ain't on top of you, just beat you up. And you get, just let's say you finally wake up and you shove her off of you and she falls into something. You're wrong. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you can't fight. Doesn't matter that she knocked you out. So just understand the world that we in. There's no point of, at this point, I think what's happening is it's just, it's too big to it's too big to really defend. You just got to know how to adjust. So to all the young men and all the young thinkers, all of the young women, understand the landscape we in. We're moving into a different world, and it's just a world that you're gonna have to adjust to, because the powers that be have gone stronger, stronger, and stronger. Your average person can't think for themselves.